The vast majority of tightrope walkers fell to the last 3 steps, because once the performer believes they have succeeded, that means death is about to come. The teacher calmly looked at the apprentice struggling on the steel wire. This is the last lesson he taught his disciple. Arrogant mentality. It will cost people their lives. It's so surprising that no one would have thought of it. This inexperienced apprentice, who is not at all professional halfway to becoming a monk, will become the first person to walk the tightrope on the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. How high is 500 meters exactly? Looking from top to bottom, the pedestrians on the road are the size of ants. Do you think men will fall? The film is adapted based on real events. The man's name is Phillips, is an acrobat with a dream of becoming famous. This day, he learned from the newspaper that New York is building the world's tallest twin towers. Phillips knows that the opportunity to realize their dreams has come. He decided to walk the steel rope between the twin towers, so he can become famous in one battle. Ideal is very plump, reality is very skinny. He comes from a wild background, because I couldn't tie the knot properly, frequently falling off the wire rope, so he found a teacher to ask him about the knowledge of walking ropes, from adjusting the tightness of the steel cable to the method of knotting. But the technical skills are in place. Unstable mindset. Every time we're a few steps away from the finish line, Phillips always couldn't help shaking, almost fell off top. The teacher warned him, most people who walk the tightrope die in the last 3 steps, so as long as a person is on a wire rope, don't slack off for a moment, even if it's the last step. In order to improve Phillips' psychological quality, the teacher arranged a live performance for him. At first, it was quite stable, but when Philip walked in the middle, the noise of the park, the laughter from the audience immediately distracted Phillips, gradually becoming unstable under one's feet. The first performance ended in failure, but failure actually ignited his competitiveness. He put his mind on Notre Dame de Paris. Under the cover of night, he dived to the roof of Notre Dame de Paris, tie the fishing line to a baseball, and then throw him to the other side. Finally, use a fishing line to pull the steel wire, and hang it between the 2 towers. At dawn, when the first batch of tourists arrived, his performance began to walk freely on Notre Dame de Paris. This time, he succeeded. Not only did it restore its reputation, and for the first time it tasted sensational, despite being arrested by the police the next second. He boarded a plane to New York. Phillips just arrived downstairs. Seeing a building soaring into the sky, his faith wavered. Phillips almost wants to give up, but when he arrived at the rooftop, when standing on the edge of the floor with both feet, the inner fear has completely dissipated. Men stand on the tallest building in the world, feet slowly moving forward. Next, he took a deep breath. Looking down, suddenly, a strong wind blew in. He almost lost his balance. Fortunately, Phillips has stabilized his body. He wants to walk a steel rope between the world's tallest twin towers. It can leave him less than 3 months of time. Phillips asked his girlfriend to vigorously shake the steel rope to practice balance. My companion also made a bow and arrow, able to shoot at ultra-long distances. This solves the problem of building steel cables. If you want to quietly move the equipment to the top of the twin towers, the difficulty is no less than robbing a bank. Hence, Phillips disguises himself as a different person every day to conduct on-site investigations in the building. I'll be an employee later. Tourists will be here soon. Have a clear understanding of the security handover time, and impersonated a reporter to ask the exact distance between the 2 towers. An elevator has taken hundreds of trips back and forth. Just when everything is ready, an accident happened. When he was inspecting the records, accidentally stepping on a nail, adding insult to injury to already difficult actions. However, he didn't give up the cover of his cane. Make him more like a fish in water. Must be completed after the building is completed. Complete the plan before the weather cools down. So he set the time on August the 6th. That's tomorrow. Although his foot injury has not yet healed, he found a bunch of friends for this. Although it's a bit unreliable, but that's all we can do. After all, finding someone to help oneself with such a crazy plan would be great. They disguised themselves as delivery workers and infiltrated the building, stumbling and falling all the way. Accidents always happen. Although he successfully managed to sneak up to the top floor with his equipment, but it's still 3 hours behind schedule. First, find the fishing line shot by the opposite partner. But while building the steel wire, the partner across the street accidentally left. Something big is about to happen. Phillips' eye disease quick move. Hastily tightened the retainer. Finally, at the last moment, the descent of the steel rope was stopped. It makes people tremble with fear. The sky shimmered slightly. There's not much time left for Phillips anymore, and at this point, a companion in the north building is afraid of going to prison. Selected to exit. After fixing the steel cable, Phillips and his companions ran to fix another steel cable, a height of 500 meters. The 2 of them did not have any protective measures. Standing on the edge of a tall building, a slight mistake in fixing the steel cable will never be undone. They finally got everything ready before dawn. Next is Phillips' personal show. There's a lunatic walking high in the air, 500 meters in the air, without any protective measures on your body. Once imbalanced, will be shattered to pieces. But he had no fear in his heart. Every step falls steadily and firmly. Slowly. He showed a very confident smile. Soon, Phillips walked steadily to the middle of the steel cable, discovered that the fixed lock was installed upside down. But fortunately, it does not affect the stability of the steel cable. Phillips successfully walked from the south tower to the north tower. He sat on the edge of the building looking in the direction he was coming, enjoying the deepest satisfaction in life. Suddenly, what did he think of? Amidst everyone's surprised gaze, returning to the steel wire again, although the wound ruptured again, but he still knelt on one knee in the middle of the steel wire. Turns out he forgot to pay tribute to the walking steel wire. Salute to the Twin Towers of the World Trade Organization. Salute to all the audience. Salute oneself on the steel wire. More and more pedestrians are attracted to him, the applause in one's generous hands. Next, when he was preparing to return, 2 police officers came over. They first arrested Phillips' friend, and persuade him to come up quickly. Phillips is getting closer and closer. At this moment, he made another astonishing move. He suddenly lifted the balance bar. Then, with a magnificent turn, we continued to walk back. This move even calls Death an expert. He wandered wildly on the brink of death. Then he made the taboo of walking on the tightrope. He slowly lowered the balance bar, both knees, kneeling on top. Watching it makes people's scalp tingle. He opened his hands, as if embracing the entire city. On the other side, Lanta's police have also arrived. But Phillips didn't panic at all, even dancing on the tightrope. And then there was another magnificent turn. I walked over again, took a few steps. He lowered the stabilizer bar, step on one foot, and then slowly get up. This move scared the police to pee again. Phillips got tired from playing, and squatted down. Why don't you just lie on the wire rope? He released his hands, prepare to rest on top for a while. Here, more and more spectators gather on the ground. Phillips looked up at the sky, feel nature. At this point, a bird flew out of the clouds. He stared at Phillips. Phillips seems to be under threat at this moment. Feeling in danger, he quickly stood up and prepared to go back. Ma'am. But when he goes back, the patrol planes in the air broke his rhythm. The injured foot even dyed the steel wire of the sky red. He adjusted his rhythm with strong beliefs. Put the balance bar back on your shoulder, heading towards the building without hesitation. Can be done in the last 3 steps. His legs were constantly trembling, seems to have lost balance. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So this is a small joke he made. Get up and throw the balance bar to the police, despite his arrest. But everyone was shocked by his dreamy performance. Walk all the way down. He was welcomed like a hero. Everyone cheered and applauded for him. But he violated more than 100 Yongkang city regulations, still punished. Even the police admire him. The media is also vying to report on this feat. Last, the judge punished him. Surprisingly, he was asked to perform a tightrope for the children in the park. Even the Twin Towers gave him an open-ended pass, and let him write an indelible name at the beginning of the steel wire. That's the end of the story. Remember to pay attention to Xiao Kai in the film Wilderness. More exciting in the next issue.